This is Brenda and Stacy with Let's Wine with Brenda and Stacy. We're back with another episode, and now that we're in hurricane season, we thought we'd bring back some of the stories that we used to tell or still tell. We lived through quite a few hurricanes.
We did. Living in Central Florida, it was supposed to be like the safest place to live as far as hurricanes go. Because
For Florida, yeah.
Yeah, it's more inland and all that stuff. But that doesn't mean we didn't feel the effects. And luckily, nobody that I ever know of was harmed. It was just a property damage thing that it did take a toll. It takes a toll on you season after season after season. I feel like mentally you get, oh my God, here it comes.
Right, you do, the prepping for it. I moved to Florida in 1992, and that year was Hurricane Andrew. And in Sebring, it wasn't terrible, and I was working a night shift, so when I got up after sleeping the day, my mom was like, "You didn't hear any of that?" I'm like, "Nope," and all they lost was a screen.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Hurricane Andrew was devastating to South Florida.
It was. I know we have friends who had to relocate and move their whole lives, because of...
Oh, I know. Hi, Julie.
I know. Of hurricanes and the devastation that they cause. It's literally... no joke. I can remember living in Florida in like my family who lived here in Georgia, who, lived in Virginia. They would just watch it, swirling on TV, where we're down there in it and prepping and doing all the things. Oh, a lot of times I'd be, we're fine, to make them quit worrying. I didn't know what hurricanes were like when I moved there. It was eye-opening.
Oh, yeah.
For one thing. And another thing is it's a total lack of control.
Right.
Just
oh, my God, yeah.
Everything, you can do all the prepping, you can do all of the, things that you're told to do and be prepared as you think you can be. But the lack of control is just...
it's devastating.
It is.
It really is. I mean, my house took a hit when we had Hurricane Charlie, and that was the first one that affected me. I was in my own home, had 2 kids, and during the hurricane, Camille wanted to go to my mom's a few streets away, so she went over there to stay with Mom and Dad. I feel like they always hit in the night when it's dark, and by 7 o'clock, phew, there went the power. So it's out, and then we heard the big bangs during the night. I had those big, tall trees in the backyard that were like 3 stories tall. Luckily, they all fell away from the house, but the base of those trees alone were taller than me. I mean, the yard was just a mess the next day, and I had water pouring in my living room by the slide. It was terrible, terrible. And then another one hit, and then another one hit. Remember, they were back to back. Camille graduated in 2005 and has the T-shirt that she survived.
Oh.
The hurricanes, they made senior T-shirts at Sebring High School.
Yeah.
It was rough.
It was rough. And for a lot of those, I worked, at the radio station. And I can remember, because I was basically the only girl amongst all the guys and none of them had kids at home, and I did. So they would always let me be home during the storm.
Right.
Storm time. They didn't want little kids running around that radio station.
No.
On top of everything else, because wherever I was going to be, my kids were going to be.
Right.
So that was like, I don't know if they just let me out of the goodness of their heart or let me out of the goodness of, we don't want little kids running around up here. So I would always be able to be home, but during the aftermath, when it was safe for me to get to the station and I had the kids somewhere safe to be, then I would go in and relieve them because they would bring in cots. The radio station had to be manned no matter what. It was to where our towers, it's not only like can you lose power at the radio station, but you got to think we have towers out in around the area that actually are the broadcasters.
Right.
So they also have to keep electric running for those to work. So the city would work with the radio station to keep the power. And a lot of times they were generator ran at the sites for the towers. And then also, at the radio station, we would just have generators to keep our basic equipment running.
Right.
But the city would come by, and keep us in gas for this radio station.
It's funny you don't think of the chain reaction.
I know.
It's not just isolated. I was selling real estate during most of that time.
Yeah.
I had closings that didn't happen because Hurricane Wilma was another one that I had people down in South Florida that couldn't get to me, and they didn't have the e-sign and all those different things then. One of the hurricanes, I can't remember which one it was, that took out our office where I worked at Spring Lake Realty. And I knew it was bad and trees were coming down. Lolly called me. She was my boss. She was the broker. Called me up and said, "You need to get down here, get your computer, anything you want." I lived, what was that, 4 blocks away?
Yeah, maybe.
And the ceiling had already went by the time I got there. And she's sitting there crying because that was her and her husband's business. I know, they were crying their eyes out. And it took a while. We were working out of our houses. Luckily, the internet was a thing.
Yes.
We were able to continue to work a little bit, but it wasn't the same. It was was not the same. Everything kind of fell apart.
It is not the same. We were in the middle of Scotty buying my house that I had built when Hurricane Irma came, and it wrecked the roof. It was really the first real bad hurricane damage that we'd had. Scotty was in the process of buying it. Well, then that hurricane came, it tore up the roof. It had damage to the house, so we couldn't close because it had to be fixed and in good condition before we could close on the house. It screwed us both up for quite some time. So that was devastating because I was ready to get the hell out of Sebring, not running from hurricanes, but just for a new life to move on.
Right.
So it held me up, it held Scotty up for a while. I mean, it was awful. But again, nobody I ever knew was really hurt in a hurricane.
Right.
Nobody,
We survived it.
it was property damage. Those things can be replaced. Life set us back a few months. Maybe life was meant to set us back a few months.
That's true. It could have been worse.
It could have.
If we'd have, for some reason, been in a different area, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
I think of those poor people with Hurricane Katrina, and it's not just Florida that they hit.
Yeah.
I know. Well, Milton followed me here.
Yeah, you
had
moved.
rain coming out.
That's right. You moved. You were running from a hurricane, basically.
Right. I mean, I was coming
The
anyway,
move was
but
planned.
I still had a week left at home. I'd put in my notice at work, so I waited till the last minute thinking, now I don't have work. I can concentrate on packing and getting rid of things. And Camille came over, if you're going, you need to go right now. People are going to start evacuating. You're not going to be able to go anywhere. I'm like, I'm in panic. I'm giving stuff away like crazy. You need some shampoo. You need this, everything. Tons of stuff, throwing stuff in the dumpster. I couldn't even tell you what all went. I took pictures of things that I knew were going to Camille's just in case. I felt like if anything happened, I had some stuff with me, some stuff there. But, it's still just stuff. It's all stuff in the big scheme of things. I mean, of course, there's baby pictures and things I didn't want to lose. But it is just stuff. Everybody was okay. And then, do you remember they did lose power during Milton? And nobody was answering their phone. And I'm here, so I'm starting to panic. The first one to respond to me was Larik. That's my grandson. He was the first one to respond, and I screenshotted that response and still have it. I just saw it recently when I was going through pictures.
Oh my goodness.
Because I was in such a panic, but he was able to let me know everybody was okay. And because you never know. It just takes, a wall coming down to, kill somebody, really.
Absolutely. I know there was one of them, I can't remember which name, that, we took everything out of my walk-in closet in Sebring and put mattresses in there. Spent the night.
Oh, yeah.
In the, walk-in closet. It had no windows, or it was the safest place in the house. Me and the kids and our friend Cherry just camped out in the closet for the night. Had batteries in the radio and batteries in a little light in there. And of course, they had their shit charged up so they could play their video games, and mommy sippy cups and all the essentials.
I know.
Essentials.
It's like I can survive it until the power goes out, and then I have to admit that's when I turn into a big baby. But I would tell myself it could be so much worse. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I know. It's just an inconvenience. It's temporary. We always rebuilt. That Army Corps of Engineers, after the bad one that I had all that damage, they came out and tarped the roof. Well, the nails they put in the roof made it worse, and it started raining then in the kids' bedrooms.
Oh my God.
So, I know. And the insurance agent, though, when she came out, she was so good to me. She even looked around. I don't know what she was kind of assessing, but she's like, you're a single mom, aren't you? And back then, I was.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. She goes, I'm going to make sure all this is taken care of for you. And I was like, well, thank you very much. But then, I had an ex-husband. His name was still on the mortgage, and it was one of those where when the check came, I needed his signature. He was living in Gainesville, so it's like pays to know people. Cochran Brothers Roofing was wonderful because Donna Cochran was a scout mom, so I knew her. So she sent the guys out to go ahead and do my roof. I got off lucky. I was very lucky, but it took a lot of time, I feel like, in between. Everybody needed a new roof. Everybody was back. It was backed up.
Oh, yeah. It really, really was. So I remember I hated FEMA, that Hurricane Irma, because our roof needed replaced. Well, what you may or may not know is that your insurance company, when they come out to assess everything, they also assess the age of your roof. So you only get the value of the roof you own, not the value of a new roof. Is that what happened to you too?
Girl, I got so lucky. They went by, like the deductible was 2% what you paid for the house back then. And mine was dirt cheap. It wasn't what it was worth. Because I remember Lolly saying, you got off lucky. I'm like, damn right I did.
Yeah,
because even after the deductible was removed, I was still able to cover everything. The carpet and the roof, all the wood around that sliding glass door and back porch. Yeah, I won't say any names. I had a friend who had like a ding on her car, and evidently FEMA had set up a place. I wouldn't even taken it up there. She said she got in the line, went through the thing. They like handed her a check for $3,000.
Shut up.
I'm like, what? That's bullshit. And I want to think FEMA's there to help if you have no other option.
I didn't have the gap between what insurance covered and what it needed, they ended up helping me basically get a low percent
Another
loan.
loan.
A low
You
percent.
should have said, I'm a single mom.
I know. I was just grateful at the time because
Yeah, wanted it
we
done.
had our heart set on getting things done and getting out of there and Scotty getting in the house and all the things done. So even after I moved to Georgia and then even after I moved in here, I was still paying on that stupid.
I remember you saying that.
that stupid roof. But,
Goodness, that's
I know.
awful. I do
I
remember
know.
you saying that.
So anyway, so as far as I'm concerned, I have paid all the money I'm paying for Scott's house.
Well, figure those Florida homes are gone now. They're sold. They're out of our hair. We don't have to worry about those
Yeah,
anymore.
well, I mean, just Scotty lives there. And then your babies that
Oh, yeah. Camille had to get a new floor and everything.
live down there. I know. I mean, it's worth the price, I guess, of Florida living.
Well, is it?
I know. I don't miss it.
I'm
Even
just not a Florida girl.
Jeff talks about being down in Florida on their vacation, and stay in a hotel or whatever, and you hot and sweaty, and you get in the shower, and you get out from the shower, and you're hot, trying to dry off, and you get hot and sweaty. It's like,
Still humid.
Bye, Florida. Georgia, what you got? Bring me a snowstorm.
I know.
Bring me something I can play in and look forward to, and then come in the house.
I came up here for snow and ice. Since I've been here, I didn't realize the ice storms were a thing.
Well,
but I'm learning.
Rarely.
I can handle that better for some reason. Once I'm where I'm going to stay for the night, I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the last one we had, I stayed at work, which was fine. Gia had passed away, and I did tell my boss, I said, things might have been different if that cat was still alive. I don't know. I would either had to take her with me.
Yeah, or risk your life and limb to come home.
I know.
Because apparently I'm not trusted to babysit a cat for one night.
I don't think you could have pilled her like I did.
We'd have done it. We'd have made it through.
You'd have heard her doing it.
Whatever. She would have skipped her mess in one day.
She had to have it or she'd been vomiting all over the place. I don't know how we did it.
I know. I don't think I could do it now, like at this age. I don't want to do it.
Well, I took my dad to the airport, too. He had already planned a trip to Indiana. I don't know if we discussed that once before. I called the Sarasota airport and said, do you have flights out? Because I know a lot of them were grounded. And they said, if you can get over here, the flights are going. I was like, oh, boy, I got to drive through Zolfo Springs and all that. And when I did, because of the traffic lights being out, there were Army people on the corners, and it looked like a war zone. And I'm thinking, Dad, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get you over there. But we made it, and I called Mom, and she said she wanted another bag of ice and Taco Bell because our restaurants were closed.
Yeah.
We didn't have that, so I grabbed her what I could and took it to her because she refused to leave that house. She stood her ground and decided to just stay in there. And I
never
get it.
evacuated either. I never went to a shelter or anything
No,
like
I
that.
didn't do that.
Yeah.
But I went to my friend Amy's after one of them because we didn't have power. And she's like, what? They were in Okeechobee. So I went there to get some air conditioning, and Mom would not leave, but she had the dogs.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get you want to be in your home and protect your home.
Yeah. With your babies.
And, as you get older, apparently you don't get as hot as we do. I'm learning that at work.
I can't wait.
I just don't see it happening for us. I think we'll be hot till the day we die.
I know. That's why I'm saying changing my way so I don't end up in hell because I can't handle the heat.
I know. I'm not going to be able to stand it.
know.
My ex-husband, he used to joke around about hell not having me. Then I would complain, it's hot down here. Turn the air on. There's not enough salt on my glass.
Yeah.
And he said if Satan had an eject button, he would surely use it.
Well, I've joked about that if we ever got kidnapped, they'd bring us back. No,
Oh, I'm sure.
Don't want this one.
Yeah.
Good luck, buddy.
I know when they're driving, we'd be like, what's that button do?
What are you doing? Why are you taking me? Where are we going? Is it hot there? Do you have air? Can I have some wine? Can I have more wine? What can I have? What
I
can
know
do?
we need the plan.
I know.
But what time will we get there? What time are we leaving? Do we get to eat? Are you going to feed us? If you're going to kill me, just kill me now.
Do it right now.
Otherwise, I need the plan.
Yeah, I need the schedule, please.
I know. I just can't imagine.
And I would be saying, who are we kidnapping me for? Who are you going to call and ask for what? Because I can tell you.
There's no ransom for me. I don't know what you're doing. I don't even know why this is happening.
Oh, somebody kidnapped you. I'd give a couple hundred.
100.
I'd give a couple hundred to get you back.
Okay.
Not to give anybody any ideas.
Hopefully they're not demanding. I know, but we did. I mean, this natural disaster thing. I did watch a documentary on Hurricane Katrina, and it was devastating.
The history and stuff and the rebuilding that they had to do of the restaurants there and the music and the things that were lost. I feel bad for them too. It's any place that has to go through devastating natural disasters or disasters, period. There was one where it was so devastating down there that Daddy and San and a bunch of their friends got together and brought a trailer full of supplies down there. Like we couldn't get tarps and we couldn't get, they brought water in and they just brought all kinds of stuff in. And, we were able to pass out dog food.
Yeah.
Things like, you don't think of,
Right.
feeding your animals and, trying to keep them comfortable and trying to keep them cool.
I
And,
know.
they don't understand what's going on either.
I know.
So, it's just crazy, but
It is. I was trying to get the girls to tell me their hurricane stories. I didn't really get any, except Camille. She was with Josh. She married her high school sweetheart, the father of my grandchildren. He had written her letters that he couldn't even give to her at the time, but she has them now, and I told her to keep them because it's a part of history. He describes going out to his car just to turn the air conditioning on periodically to get some relief.
yeah, I remember
and
doing that.
And that he was worried about her.
Aw.
Because and didn't know how to get to her because they were telling people to stay off the roads and trees were down and
Yeah, but he sent
I
the-
know.
Aw,
But he wrote these letters that
Dr.
he gave to
Rose.
her after the fact.
That's precious.
I know.
I want to be loved like that.
You want to be obsessed over.
I want to be obsessed over. But anyway, we just want everybody be safe. It's
Right.
hurricane season.
It is hurricane season.
A few years ago, we had a big, huge family trip all planned to Anna Maria Island, the place that we were already had reserved and everything. It was destroyed. Our vacation got canceled. That whole area, was just devastated.
Right.
So ultimately, we ended up feeling they will rebuild strong Anna Maria Island kind of thing. But
Everybody has plans. Everybody goes to work. They get up and do their thing. And when that gets derailed, it's hard on a person, I think.
yeah, it's sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just looked up too. Hurricane season's technically June 1st to November 30th. But we've had hurricanes up to November. The Atlantic hasn't had any storms yet for 2026. There's been 3 named storms in the Pacific already.
Wow. Hopefully it's not a big, huge, devastating hurricane season. That's what we can hope. But Mother Nature she's a beast.
She's going to do what she wants.
She's going to do what she does. And yeah.
Like any other woman. Going to do what we want.
Help, hath no fury.
That's right. That is true. Oh, I just remembered something. Before we go, Stacy, you know how we like it dark and cold? And didn't you plywood all of your windows and left it up the entire hurricane season, month after month?
Oh, yeah. That was the best time of my life. Yes, we would, that would be one of the things, some people would like duct tape or whatever.
Some people like sunlight for whatever reason to come in their windows.
Duct tape their windows to where if the window shattered, it wouldn't really shatter or whatever. So then I thought, we can put, the plywood up, screw those on the windows to cover the windows. And yes, I felt I was living in a cave for a whole hurricane season.
I bet you loved it.
It was glorious. It was glorious. And I swear, if it wasn't illegal, that house would still be boarded up. I'd board this house if I could for safety.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
But yes, it was like living in a cave. It was total blackout. And yes, it was glorious. But that's crazy. That's like one of the crazy things, like, let's do that.
Did your neighbors ever say
How much
anything or
longer?
notice?
How much longer?
Were they asking you?
I was just like, I feel like we could just paint that board and make it
Yeah.
look like a window.
There you go.
And then, but some about code enforcement and it not being safe if there's a fire or some things about
I
something
wouldn't
to do
think
with
where
that.
you were living out there. I bet Spring Lake would have said something, though.
Yeah.
That HOA, that guy on that golf cart drove around all the time. He'd have said, those boards have been, there's no hurricane out there.
I know. So eventually, I don't remember. People made me feel so horrible about it being that way
Why?
or it being dangerous or what it was that I was like, all right. But
Do you feel
I
that
left
if-
the ones on the back of the house for a long, long time because you couldn't see those for the road. And the neighbors, you couldn't see. I couldn't see their house and they couldn't see mine from the back.
Well, thinking about a fire, do you feel that it was loose enough to where if you kicked it, you'd be able to get up?
No, they were boarded from the outside in. So it would have been hard.
It was dark.
It was a one-story house.
I know, that's true. You could got
Take
out
a
of there.
hatchet. Like I had a hatchet. I could take something to it and got out of there. But yeah, fun times. I do remember cave-like
I
living.
think that's hilarious.
Cave-like living.
Yes.
I think we should sell it, promote it, make $1 billion designing cave-like houses.
That's brilliant.
I'm so smart.
That might be our next endeavor. I can paint a picture on your plywood and we'll put it up on your window.
And make it look like it's inside out and outside in.
Just
but-
send me a photograph of your house stand outside the window, take a picture so I can make sure the sun's not on it where it's a reflection, but I can actually see through the window and I'll paint what's inside. Brilliant.
What the hell?
I think this wine's making us smarter.
We are so smart.
I know we're going to be rich
On Let's Wine.
with Brenda and Stacy.
Bye.